Why is it so difficult to create meaningful, authentic, and genuine relationships with other people? I would have to say that the fear of being yourself is rooted a lot in situations, traumas, experiences in the past. And if you think about it, a lot of it is rooted in a sense of survival. When you're trying to keep somebody from connecting with you, when you feel the compulsion to actually be somebody else, what does that really tell you? There's a sense of being guarded, there's a sense of being protective. And why is that? Why do we want to protect and guard ourselves if not for the fact that we want to keep something safe? That there's something valuable inside that is not really worthy of the other person getting to know and have a peek on the inside. We don't really come into the world with that sense where we need people when we're born. When we're babies, we need that connection with the mother. We need our connection with our caregivers who are going to be taking care of us. But somewhere along the line, we learn that letting other people in can be a dangerous proposition. Now, when you're babies, it's not like you're intellectually thinking, well, I think that that person out there is not going to be safe, so I'm going to, make sure that I stay in my crib. No. Over time, we learn we have this sense of survival, and it's something that's wired in our DNA to actually be protective. This is why we seek to be in a family situation. This is why we seek out relationships. This is why we seek out communities. However, it's kind of a double bind when, the path to actually connecting is being your authentic self, but we create walls of guardedness to protect us and keep people out. And that's a real struggle. I know that in my past, I could look back and say that I had some real difficulties being myself. I learned it. It was like a learned situation. I learned through my dad's rejection of me when my parents got divorced. He was an outright rejecting me, but he just didn't want to spend time with me. It was very difficult. And then growing up, and especially in my teen years when I was in junior high, it was very difficult because I was constantly being teased, separated out, made fun of, jeered at, called names, on all of that. And I was just being myself. I wasn't like necessarily going and putting on a show for people. I wasn't enough. And so if you think about it, if you grow up with a sense of either your parents or your caregivers aren't giving you the attention that you need, or you can't find friends, or you're being rejected for just being who you are, that means that you need to be somebody else. And this is why we put up these walls of self-protection. Now, in the gay community, this is a real challenge. I'm not going to say that it's not challenging outside of the gay community, but when we take it into this perspective, when you're dating, when you're trying to make friends, you've got a lot of things that are going on. You've got society, you've got rejection, in the cultural sense. You've got a lot of political divides. There's a lot of things, a lot of baggage that a lot of gay men carry. And it creates this sense of trying to prove yourself and trying to be somebody that's acceptable. And so what happens, you develop a fake persona, you dodge questions, you really, if you're on a dating profile, you just put up a whole bunch of stuff that feels like a cliches and things that aren't really you. It's all to really come from a place of you need to find somebody who's going to accept you, and because you've learned that full acceptance is not going to be by being who you are, being yourself. So that's why it's so difficult and why there's such a double bind when you want to create connection. So we're going to be exploring this further and talking a little bit more about what it's like and how we can kind of get around to a sense of really being yourself and being comfortable, because until you're going to be yourself, until you feel comfortable in your own skin, it's going to be very, very difficult to find acceptance and to find a sense of belonging and community.